My name is Morgan Papenfuss, and I'm a Scooper senior, and I've been running cross country for 6 years, and we just wrapped up my sixth and final season. And overall, we had a really good year. We finished it off at state, placing second, the best in Sturgis history. And throughout all the meets and courses we ran, I did my personal best at almost every single one of them, getting a new PR, and I medaled at every race, which was something I wanted to accomplish since the beginning of the season. And overall, it was a really fun team and a really great year, and it ended better than I ever could have expected.
Talking cross country with Blake Proefrock, their head coach. Another great season in the books.
Yeah, it was overall the best season that we've ever had. Boys, finishing runner up, and the girls seventh place, kind of the dreaded seventh again, just one spot off the podium. But yeah, together combined, it's the best I've ever done. The girls here obviously have won a state title in 2010, but this is the closest the boys ever came since honestly last year. They were fourth, so it was a tremendous season.
Best you've ever had this year, and you could say that again last year. Is it the coaching?
Well, I'll tell you one thing that's the common denominator in it all, and the championship here before, and doesn't get enough credit, is honestly assistant coach Scott Peterson, who was the head coach, before here, and kind of came out of retirement really. He retired teaching and coaching, and then kind of came back kind of later, kind of at the beginning of the season, whatnot. He just loves the sport, has a passion for it, and that and track, as well. So, he's been here, a long time, and he's, pretty much kind of taught me, everything kind of I know too with, in cross country, and he kind of helped me out and stuff. So, he's kind of a driving factor as well. So, I'm going to be pretty humble in saying that it's any of the coaching. I know we got great kids. We got really, disciplined kids that, work really hard. I mentioned this a couple different times to different people, but we kind of have a running challenge during the summer, and we had a couple individuals, one exactly 500 miles this summer, and one, like a little over 460 or 470 or something like that. So, there's not a ton of tricks. If you're going to willing to put in that many miles and that much work, you're going to have the results. And those two individuals, on the boys' side were top two placers, 7th and 8th, and that was Ty Petrocco and Quinn Brook. So there's direct correlation between putting in the work and kind of the outcomes. So
I was going to ask you, can you take a good cross-country athlete and turn him into a great one? But I think you already answered that with the work ethic.
Yeah, it's those kids, and it's one of the things, I've coached basketball and football, and obviously I'm a track coach, and cross country. I've coached some baseball, but coaching all these different things. One thing about it is, the numbers are generally smaller in cross country, but the type of kids you generally have year in and year out are the kids that are, got the best grades. They're intrinsically motivated because, it's kind of tough to just go run, every single day and do those type of workouts. There's no ball or anything else, involved with that. And so it's just kind of one of those situations where those are the type of kids you're getting. You're getting kids that are willing to work, extremely hard every single day. Rain or shine, even when the weather gets cold, they're going outside. Other people are finding a different place to go. So, it's kind of a testament to just those kids and the way they're built, really.
Coach, let's talk about that state meet.
Yeah, it was a great day. Honestly, everything was perfect other than it was a little breezy, I guess you could say. But otherwise, it's pretty hard to ask for much better. It was at Yankton Trails Park in Sioux Falls, which is, practically track on grass. It's kind of the way it is. It's just a big, ginormous soccer field. It's just flat, fast. So, we saw a lot of really fast times. It's, a little bit different than even just the average golf course or something that even has some rolling hills or anything like that. So it's definitely one of those situations where, like a lot of kids that had, maybe some speed, and versus maybe a kid that was, a little better running some hills, maybe had, had the advantage, I guess. But like I said, on the boys' side, we ended up second, and 14 or 15, I think 14 points behind Sioux Falls Lincoln. and which, in cross-country terms is not a lot. Like there's obviously a handful of kids that come across in just a couple seconds. And so it's just one of those things where, man, we were really close on that side, and, our other scorers, we had our number 3 come in at 28th, and that was actually Ty Ferguson. And, he just kind of started getting after it again. We kind of joke about, Coach Peterson coming out of retirement a little bit. Well, Ty Ferguson did too. I think the last time he ran was in 7th grade. So it's been a little while, and he's a kid that's a junior. And so we kind of got him out. He's obviously a soccer player as well. And so we got him convinced to come out, and kid's work ethic was, second to none. He was doing both practices. He was coming in the morning sometimes, so we were working it back and forth. And, man, he came on. He ran 16:40-something, placed 28, 3 spots shy of actually being an individual medalist. So really it was pretty phenomenal in that part. Then we had Morgan, obviously our lone senior, and just talk about him a little bit. He came up in 8th grade, so he's been with us 5 years. And in the conference level, which our conference is tremendous. Obviously, you see what Hill City did. You see what the Spearfish girls did. You see what Custer does every year. Obviously, we've been, pretty decent. I mean, it's really, really tough. But he's a 5-time conference medalist. He medaled at state last year. He didn't medal for us this year, but he's our number 4 guy, coming across the line. But, man, he's been a staple to the program. We're definitely going to miss him because he's a guy that just, hammers out the miles too. He runs 200, 300 miles during the summer, and we're definitely going to miss him and kind of the leadership, there. And then our number 5 guy coming across was Taylor Kalunga, and he's a kid that also plays soccer and then kind of jumped on. He's been on team. He was on the team last year, and just kind of toughed it out. He put in a lot of work this fall, and it just about got there. I mean, it paid off. Obviously, being the best we have been in school history. It's pretty cool. We talked to the AD. We get a banner, runner up. We'll get a new banner in here and whatnot. So kids were pretty excited, about that. And it's just one of those things where it's tough, going up against bigger schools. On the girls' side, Iris Zylstra was kind of our number 1. She's been a state medalist before, wasn't this year, but our girls overall placed 7th, and they were 7th last year. And they were 8th the year before, so they're right there, and the top 6 get recognized on the podium, and get a plaque or get a medal and stuff like that. So they're right there, and they've been there in the last couple of years, and that was their goal, to try to just get there, and they just short, it was just. But man, our girls team we didn't have a lot of them, but we're pretty deep. We had, we didn't just have 7 kids. We, kind of almost had to have a runoff, at the last meet of the year, with 3 different girls to say who's going to get that 7th spot, because they were pretty close. We just didn't really quite have, maybe that front runner, to kind of cut down the points. But, Iris was, she was our kind of number one all year. And then, we had Lucy Hamer, Keelan Dinkins, Paige Wilnard, Emily Reedy, Abby Kreitch. And then we did take we ended up taking, an alternate along, as well, just because they were so close and so tight right in there. Fallon Dinkins, came along. So it was one of those things where we just had a lot of kids right there, and they competed, all season long. They competed all season long, and we've had different, girls, be really good in different places. Lucy, she was, has been a medalist before, at a different meet, and Iris was, and Paige, what she's done on the track, and obviously Keelan was our, number 1, at conference. She's conference medalist, and Charlie Byerly, another young kid that obviously was on the team. She, 8th grader that was on the team last year, continued to work really hard, all season. So they were right there. And so when you combine the 2 teams, the boys and the girls, it was really close. I think the number that won was 7, and I think us, second and second and 7th was 9 for us. So we were right there. But it's a little bit of an uphill battle. I look at it and, if the divisions were split like they were in football, there's like a AAA division and AA division. So you take away basically those metro schools, where it'd be the state champions on the boys' side and runner-up to actually spearfish on the girls' side, because everybody was either from Sioux Falls or Brandon or whatever. So it just is one of those things. I think we had 9 total boys out, and I only like 12 girls. Like Sioux Falls Lincoln, that beat us at 70 on their roster. So it's just one of those things where we retool and use the kids, that we have, and just continue to work hard and kind of let the chips fall where they may. So,
Congratulations, Coach, and hey, thanks for taking time to visit.
absolutely appreciate you guys all the time and the coverage for the kids. So thank you very much.